Being 5:15, I call the July 30th Economic Development Committee meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call has been taken. Just a reminder for any visitors, please sign in. Thank you. I would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda that is presented in the packet as presented.
Motion to adopt the agenda. Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of adopting the agenda as presented signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 4, public comment.
We'll go to number 3.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the June 25th, 2024 minutes as presented in the packet.
I'll make a motion. We approve the June 25th, 2024 minutes.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approval of the June 25th meeting minutes is unanimous. Now on to number 4, public comment. Any public comments? Any public comments? Hearing none, we will move on to a report on the New London Public Museum's 2024 Downtown Walking Tour. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you. So, in October of this year, the New London Public Museum is going to be doing a historic downtown walking tour. Now, we have not done one of our walking tours since we did the trolley tour in 2013. And we thought this would be a good time to do it, especially with the revitalization of downtown. So we do have a small committee working on this. April Kim, the archives manager at the New London Public Museum, Cindy, as well as Tina Summer are working on putting this together. So I just wanted to come to this group and let you know what we're doing, kind of bring you up to speed on where we're at. So the goal for the downtown walking tour was to welcome the community back to downtown and also raise awareness about the museum, historic preservation, and the history of New London. The concept is that we're going to be focusing on 9 buildings downtown. Those buildings will have volunteers sitting in front of them, talking to people about the history of the building, the businesses in it, some of the architecture, things like that. We're also going to have 8 stops along the way that are going to have interpretive panels. If you've been to Familiar Grounds and you've seen the large panels that are there, that's basically what it's going to be. Text as well as historic photos of either what was in the space or what was in that building. And the style of this tour is a little bit different than we've done in the past. There is not a set route to go. It's going to be more of a hop on, hop off type of a tour so that we can encourage people to really spend the time downtown, go into the businesses, take a look at the changes that have happened, and really just kind of enjoy themselves. We're also going to be encouraging family participation with a scavenger hunt that day that'll have some prizes associated with it. The ticket price is going to be $5 for people 15 and up. Under 15 is free. Again, just to keep the price point low and to encourage families to attend. We are looking for sponsorships for the event as well, simply to offset the costs. This is not a fundraiser for the museum. This is really just a chance for us to present our history to our community. So the tour will begin at about 10 in the morning, and the last tickets will be sold right around 2:30. We anticipate people hopefully staying the whole time and maybe getting some lunch and just really enjoying themselves downtown. We do have 2 shifts of volunteers. We'll need 15 volunteers per shift. The first one is from 9:30 to 12:30. The other is from noon to 3, just so that we have some overlap amongst our volunteers. And we have a number of volunteer opportunities, including those that are going to be sitting out in front of the buildings, as well as people that are going to need help with setup, cleanup, running of the day, and things like that. We will be doing a number of different types of advertising, including social media, as well as in the local loop, in the museum e-newsletter, videos, digital signs. We are going to, right now we do have in our budget some purchased newspaper ads. We'll also do press releases, posters, and things like that. And we're encouraging our local businesses to also help us spread the word. As we know, word of mouth is always wonderful. The booklet, which is the ticket for the tour, is going to look very similar to our 2013 one. Same size, same kind of concept, where we will have more information as well as some historic photos in that booklet. So that's what people will be able to take with them. We'll also have them available at the museum afterwards. So that is one of the incentives for our sponsorships. Depending upon the level that you sponsor, your name or business will be in the booklet in perpetuity until we run out of supplies. So I did bring a letter that we will be distributing to the businesses downtown, and I think this is going to go on the local loop as well. Okay, so I did bring a copy of that for you if you are interested. It does give a little bit more information about what it is that we're doing. And if you have any questions, of course, I'm almost always at the museum, so feel free to shoot me an email, give me a call, stop in. Be happy to answer any questions you may have, or you have any here tonight. And then the Cracker Jacks thing was because we had a really cool museum day at the stadium in the hottest, humidest Sunday this year. So unfortunately, our attendance was a little low, but the Irish gave us a really good game, and we're looking forward to doing it again next year. So thank you so much for allowing me to let you know what's going on with our downtown walking tour. And again, if there's any questions or thoughts, concerns, please just let me know.
Anyone have any questions now for Christine? Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Christine. Thanks.
Okay, when is the tour? I don't know, you said the date.
Oh,
October.
sorry, Saturday, October 12th.
Downtown will be done by then?
From 10 to 3.
So Robert's the one on the hook.
Yeah, write that down.
Yep, it has to be.
It's on video.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, okay, thank you. With that, we're gonna move on to agenda item number 6, a new downtown business proposal by Kim Chonos.
Moving to this item, I just talked to Bloom before. I'm gonna recommend that we talk about item number 6 and number 7 because they're in correlation with each other, and then we'll move back to emotions that come out of this. So we'll kind of fall into both of these items and then work backwards into the motion. So Kim, the floor is yours. I'm gonna set the laptop. Let's come up for you.
There we go. My screen is so flexible.
Should come. That's why we bring paper. All right. As I'm sure most of this group knows, my name is Kim Chonis, the owner of Events Everlasting. And I really appreciate everyone's time to speak in front of you today about a goal of opening another business in New London. Knowing that the group is looking for placemaking opportunities, I'm excited to share our idea of a beer garden. We would like to combine our success of creating events at Events Everlasting with another passion that we have, craft beer. With the support of my family and the Events Everlasting team, we are dedicated to making this a successful business and a tourist destination for New London. The location, the property that we're interested in is the location between the SC Swerdinsky apartments and Longevity. The area also oversees the Wolf River, which would provide a really cool backdrop for the beer garden. The beer garden would be on the south half of the lot where the red box is. That red box indicates where we would put the building. And right now we are actively working with a builder to develop some mock-ups to be able to share. So we do have somebody ready to go for this project. The north half of the property then would be an area where we would be able to host other events, which I'll go through shortly. I'm really excited to talk about the beer garden portion because this is really where the bread and butter of everything is. This will be a green space that has live planters, and that will be growing in arbors above the seating area. Like we see in those pictures, lots of lights, lots of seating, lots of different options for people to be able to feel comfortable to sit in the beer garden. The beer garden would only feature Wisconsin craft beers. We want to be able to support as local as we possibly can, getting people like Stubborn Brothers, Central Waters, and then of course like Milwaukee, all the way up to like Rib Falls and different places like that. The only exception that we would make would be the two major beer holidays, of course, our St. Patrick's Day and Oktoberfest. This would be an exciting opportunity to be able to bring some outside beers into the community that we don't always see. Realizing that there aren't enough liquor licenses right now, we would limit our options to beer, wine, and the malt beverages that would fit within that liquor or within our guidelines. Another trend that we're seeing is in the food and beverage industry is the mocktail. As I go out to different places, I find that a lot of people are asking for mocktails. These could be people who are either pregnant, designated drivers, younger people in your family, or just those who simply choose to be sober. The craft cocktail is something that I hear people ask for, or craft mocktail is something that we hear a lot of people ask for frequently, even when I go out to other establishments. The overall goal then is to create a place with character that provides upscale drinks and services, but has the casual atmosphere where everyone can feel welcome. For the foreseeable future, we do not plan to have a kitchen that serves food. However, we would offer snack options. This could be like pretzels, popcorn, prepackaged cheese spreads, hummus, veggies, those type of things. And then as far as other more in-depth food options go, we would be looking to utilize food trucks, the local food trucks, or being able to have people order takeout from, let's say, Jolly Rogers or Domino's, or any of the bars that are downtown. Hilby's is right in that local area too, so being able to bring that into the beer garden. But then the food trucks would be able to be placed on our north side of the property. So that's where we would be able to have those food trucks park. I'm also looking to be able to grow the farmers market that Events Everlasting has. It has been growing. I know we've only had it twice now, and the third time is looking to be even more vendors. And it just keeps growing. Everyone has had really good feedback for us as far as vendors go, the community, and so being able to make it a much bigger event. We have also been brainstorming other ideas as far as flea markets, concerts, art in the park, being able to do outdoor movies, being able to do farm to table dinners, which would be a really cool opportunity to be able to have outside for the community. And then basically be able to also work with the Parks Department, Chamber, nonprofits to host walk and runs, concerts and other events. We basically want to be a place where we can help with fundraisers, kind of thinking things like Rock Fries and Give Back Days and just ways to be able to help our local nonprofits also succeed. Majority of our business would be during the warmer months. However, we are excited to include outdoor domes to the business plan, making sure that we make this profitable year round so we can sustain ourselves. We want to be able to offer these domes. Has anyone been to these domes? No? Okay. So I'm really excited to share this. It's a really cool opportunity to be able to, basically you're enclosed in this dome. You have heat that would be, usually it's like an electric heat that is safe for these domes to be able to be plugged in, and then you have seating in there. So you can still be able to eat. I think about you rent these domes out and be able to have your cocktail hour, be able to have a beverage or two, give Jolly Rogers a call, have them come out and deliver a pizza directly to your dome, and then you'll be able to continue having your next flight of beers. So that's the vision of being able to do these outdoor domes. You see them at places up at by Kohler in Green Bay and Titletown in that area. You see them down in Milwaukee. There's a couple places in Appleton, but not too many near us at all. Then basically want to talk a little bit about our marketing plan. Our marketing plan is really to set up bringing tourism into New London. We want to be able to utilize, of course, the traditional forms of marketing, but really being able to use the personal connections that we already have. We're excited to be able to work with a few different people. We have a friend who has a Wisconsin-based podcast that's called Pour Another Round. And this focuses on beer worldwide. He's traveled all over the globe to be able to do this podcast with different types of beer and places that offer beer type services. He lives right outside New London, actually, which is really cool. And he has us on the list already to do a podcast for a pre-opening to be able to really hype this up, along with being able to host on the podcast again on site once it's open. In my previous roles, I have had the opportunity to meet brewmasters from local breweries. And as I share this idea with them, they are all really excited to be able to come out and be able to showcase their beer and do specific days. And then I also am going to be working with a couple different publications for Wisconsin tourism. Already have the information for Fox Cities Magazine to join their dining guide to bring more of the surrounding communities. So that really reaches Green Bay, Appleton, Oshkosh, Fond du Lac, and really bringing them all over the place. Fox Cities Magazine, I think it was a couple of years ago, they did one specifically on New London, like worth the drive for New London and Clintonville and Wapaka. So that was really cool. So being able to get part of those publications. The other thing that we plan to sign up for is the Hop Passport, which is where people purchase this passport and then they their goal is to really fill up their passport from each place to go and get a complimentary beer. What's really cool is that people from all over the state purchase this and then they travel all over to be able to fill up their passport. The goal is to be able to cross every place off of the list. So basically, in conclusion, when I decided to move Events Everlasting permanently to New London, I intentionally chose to be part of the community. I have really deep-rooted myself into this community. And this means that I have the self-driven goal to be the change that I want to see here. I have listened to these meetings and know that this group has a goal of creating green spaces and becoming a destination. My family and I would like to work together with the city to create an entire area that is green space for New London. My question for the group is, are you willing to work in collaboration with us to revitalize that whole area of New London?
I think that's a really cool idea. I think that'll go over good.
Thank you.
So can we go back to the slide 2, just to confirm? 'Cause I-
Slide 2.
Yep, the.
Oh, this one? Okay.
So the red area is going to be,
Right now, we're proposing that to be the building.
okay,
So we'll have an actual indoor space that will be able to be open
Got
year
it.
round too.
okay. But the 2 lots that the city owned, 203 and 205, be like your dome area green space or?
No, we aren't, we're looking to leave that as, we're not gonna touch that. So like
You
where the
said
docks are.
I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, where the, so like the red spots where the, where that building is, there's some grassy area in
Got it.
between that, and that's going to be, that's almost sloped right now, so we're working to figure out if we're going to grade it out or if we're going to keep it as like a walking path. And then where the docks are normally kept, on the top part of that picture would be where we would do the farmers markets and stuff like that.
So you're just looking at, what is, that's the lot in between the buildings and where Swiderski's gonna be,
Correct.
yeah.
So
just
where
that-
the big X is. the
That big
property,
lot.
The big property, yep.
So nothing on 203 and 205?
No.
Okay, got it.
No. Good question. I should
Yep.
have clarified that. Yep.
So the building you're gonna build would have restrooms and indoor bar, I'm guessing?
Yep, we'll have restrooms, indoor bar, it'll have heating, cooling, it'll have everything there. The concept, I wish I had it, I met with him today and he's finalizing things, but what we're looking to do is basically have one huge garage door that'll open up. So basically if the heat's not on, the garage door is open, so we wouldn't really have to do too much cooling. And then the outside, we're thinking of having like brick or stone facade, and it'll be kind of like a combination of stone, metal, sheets, siding type of concept. So something very urban style.
So that doesn't affect parking, 'cause you can still,
Yeah.
go through that alley part, right?
Yep. So we would still be able to go through that alley, and then there is some parking. You can't see it too well in the picture, but there is parking toward the waters portion where the park is, and kind of like where Tracy, where
Yep.
longevity is
Over
there.
by TJ, okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Any other questions for Kim at the moment?
I mean, it would just be for events. It wouldn't be like a 9 to 5 or whatever, it's not daily open. It's just certain days of the year.
Good question. So it would be, the beer garden would actually be open Wednesday through Sunday is what we're thinking. So like probably like a 4 until 10. Like we're not looking to be open till bar close and have people there all night. It would be a really cool place for working professionals, like anyone in this room, to be able to go and have a beverage and be able to enjoy themselves before going home for the day. So it wouldn't be like a heavy bar scene or a party scene or anything like that. It's just really nice, cool, casual atmosphere to be able to hang out. So we would be open to the public. Again, hours and stuff like that, I don't know, but the idea is like a 4 to 10 type of on a Wednesday through Sunday. And then whenever we have other events going on.
And then, would there be ample parking for people? I mean, I know that there's parking behind the businesses south of there, but was there parking anywhere else? I mean, is there gonna be,
If you want me to take over the screen, I can
Sure.
bring up the map.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
thank you.
Kind of just keep on rolling into this. So hopefully- The full map. All right, so this is obviously the SC Swiderski project here. This lot right here, whoops. This lot right here is the one that Kim was proposing to turn into her project. And then we also have, there's an alley right here. 207 and 211 are owned by the same owner. The city owns 203, 205. The city obviously owns, all this land to the north of there, and this is all city right away in here. And then what Tim was talking about here, there is this section here between the back of the buildings on Pearl Street. That's all public parking right here. So this is available for public parking. There's obviously street parking here. There is, limited parking in the park here to the north.
Swiderski is gonna have a exit right there through that end of Smith Street, correct?
Correct. They have planned for an entrance exit here and an entrance exit here. So hypothetically, if the the farmer's market, or if there's an event here that hypothetically she would request to close down this area to have a little bit bigger of an area to work with, there is still an access point here that residents for the Swiderski project could enter and exit on Wolf River Avenue here if hypothetically this drive needed to be shut down for a period of time.
And as I go through, I'm always open to have those conversations with the property managers and SC Swiderski and stuff like that too, to let them know what's going on, and keep them all aware. Especially since we want to stay on good side, a lot of our foot traffic is going to be coming from the apartment building. So whatever we can do to make it comfortable for both parties makes absolute sense to us.
And so Swiderski isn't gonna be open until the end of 2025.
Mhm.
So I mean, are you looking to wait until that's built to, do what you're doing, or are you looking to build it while they're building? Or-
I'm a real go-getter. I'm pretty ambitious. That's what people tell me when I tell them this.
Right. Yeah.
My plan is to be able to open probably like the July 4th weekend next year, if my timeline went to plan. I do want to be able to be open in 2025 for sure before fall, to be able to get it going. You don't want to just start a business and not have cash flow going. So as soon as we can get it going would be ideal. So basically to be able to confirm the property this year yet, and then be able to break ground as soon as the weather allows next year.
Okay. Any other questions? Then we're going to table this for now and come back to it after we have talked about number 7.
Yeah, so and this has all been revolved around our placemaking idea for that area. So Kim has been coming to the meetings, getting all excited about how she can be involved with this process. Public-private partnership projects are a really cool thing to work. The city's working with the community and things, but we've talked about a placemaking project. So in that thought process, obviously we need to get some professional help to work with us, to give us some ideas and some conceptual drawings and stuff like that. And Ginger, who is on Zoom right now, so if there's any questions about that, I'm just going to kind of lead into that, and maybe Ginger can take over. But Ginger's been working on researching. There is an opportunity for the city to work with the community design and planning architecture at UW-Madison for a conceptual downtown placemaking project. So Ginger, we didn't get to do an audio check, but can you hear us?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, hang on just a second, Ginger. Chad,
Sure.
Can we go back to number 7, go back to the plat map and show, now we're talking about the space in between Longevity. Now we're talking about lots 203 and 205.
Perfect, I'll bring that up. So yes, we've talked about, this whole area for placemaking. Obviously, if Kim has some great ideas for here, but we still have the remaining areas throughout here that we can potentially do something in correlation and collaboration, making sure that symmetry is all working. But there's some planning that's got to be done with that. And Ginger has a great opportunity. Oops, with that. So go ahead, Ginger.
Thank you. Hi. All right. So the University of Wisconsin-Madison offers a capstone project for graduate students to do a 2-semester project summary or project that includes working with municipalities. Sometimes it's businesses, sometimes it's collaborations between businesses and municipalities, just like this one could possibly be. And it's 2 semesters. So the first part of the semester is research and analysis. And then in the second, so they come to New London, they talk to us about our vision, they look at the site, they do the research needed, to go along with a project like this one. And then they go ahead and in the second semester, they do a vision framework plan. So, and site design. So it's similar to what you would do if you were gonna hire an engineer. But it's, a very limited cost because it's a student's project. We would have to, take this information then and hire a licensed engineer and have the plan, you know, developed. But they do work with engineers to make that happen. So the final documents and drawings are a vision and concept design. It typically costs, the minimum price, is just like when the student comes up to New London, room and board, food, things like that. Typically between $500 to $1,500, $500 to $1,500. I've researched a couple communities that have had this. Some of them are placemaking programs like this one. Some of them, back in my hometown, they did one, and they're moving an entire community because of flooding. And they're helping that community do that. So I have not. I'm waiting from the nod from you to submit our application, but I've spoke with the professor and he thinks this is a good opportunity for us. I guess if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask, but I think it'd be a really great opportunity to take a look at that site. They will understand we have maybe some issues in that area. They're gonna look at that and research that and kind of give us an idea, a feasibility study per se, on the site. They're gonna answer questions like, is there good parking for how many people, or, you know, that can the site hold, things like that, and answer a lot of the questions that you've kind of been asking Kim too. So I don't know if you have any questions on the project, I can answer them.
Are we looking for a motion to take that amount of money out of our economic development budget? Am I understanding that correctly?
So what we would do, is if you guys are interested in pursuing that, the application deadline, what we put in here, Ginger, was what, August 9th.
Yep.
So we gotta get going on it. We don't have a lot of time. Like she said, that the typical cost is between $500 and $1,500. We have money budgeted in our economic development operating budget that's been passed by council and already for consultants and projects like this already. So it's not that we have to go for funding already because the operation budget has been approved, but it's more so if the committee wants to take this route, give us some direction, have us apply for this project. Like Ginger said, we're not guaranteed. I mean, they have to choose us. You know, we're asking them to be part of this scenario, but this would be a really cool opportunity to work with some university students working on graduate projects, give us some ideas, kind of work in collaboration with what Kim's projects is and see what the overall area could look like as a
Refresh
very
their eyes.
reasonable priced project. You know, if we're going to hire a consultant to do the same thing, like a full firm, it would be quite a bit more. So this is actually a cool opportunity to get some initial feedback. Obviously, if we move forward with anything, we might have to hire, you know, professionals down the road, depending on what we come up with. But that would just kind of look at this whole area and what the city currently remaining owns if we do sell this lot to Kim.
I'll make that
What could it all
motion.
look like?
Is there an opportunity if we go down this route that? So if it's students from UW-Madison doing this, correct?
Correct.
Could we request or could they mentor or mentee students from the New London School? Could there be some sort of collaboration, some sort of meeting, some sort of, lack of better words, involvement or exposure?
Good job, Shadow.
Yeah, and maybe even a job shadow. I don't know, just something to where that they're included in communication. Is that a possibility?
New London High School students or students that are attending the university in this program?
I'm asking if the people working on the project at UW-Madison, if they
Mhm.
could, work with a student or two as well
From the high school.
from the high school, from New London, just from the exposure, if there's any interest. I mean.
I'm not sure. That's not included in the project, description at all. And I didn't raise that question with the professor. Um,
But we
so I'm
can
not
ask.
exactly
Yeah,
sure. I
think
can
worth
ask.
asking.
Yeah,
We just incur that cost if we're chosen, correct?
correct.
I think it's a wonderful idea.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, we have a motion to submit the application for the community design and planning to the Department of Planning and Landscape Architecture at the UW-Madison for a conceptual downtown placemaking project.
Correct.
And the second.
And sorry, who made the motion in second? Motion and second.
Okay, any discussion?
So obviously, elephant in the room, are we, the city gonna be taking on, maintaining the property? Are we selling the property to her? Are we gonna, I love this project. I think it's awesome what you're doing. I wanna help as much as we can. I just wanna know, like, how is the city involvement with this? If we sell it to them, now it's private, do they still qualify for placemaking?
I just want to clarify, are you talking about her project? Because I think the motion.
The motion is for 7. Right, the motion is for agenda item 7, and then we're gonna go back to Kim's situation.
Okay, so we're talking about
Also-
203 and 205?
203, 205, 109, 115, those are ours, correct?
I just want to clarify, as you're talking about the locations, they look at the entire city. And I just give a suggestion of that location for them to, like, we want that area to be a placemaking location. So it just to see how it all melds together. So it's not a given that they're gonna look at that location and be like, yes, a beer garden should go there. But if we can feed that seed to them and grow that, that's a possibility. The public land, the stewardship property, that's an area that we're gonna focus on with the city because that's going to be our property for sure. So it's a benefit no matter what happens, because the area of 115, 109, that's kind of space that we're not utilizing and needs to be developed into something that's more than it is right now. And so for sure, we want to make sure that that location is, made better. So it really encompasses our property too.
And Ginger is kind of looking at this whole area.
Right, correct. Yep.
But to Tim's point, kind of in jumping ahead a little bit, if we sell this property, it's not for us to maintain anymore. It's privately owned. We would still be responsible for our property, surrounding it like we are today. But if we sell the property, it'd be private.
I was just wondering how that worked, because we want to help with placemaking as we can, but if it's not public property anymore, would they qualify for certain grants or anything like that?
I don't think
Placemaking doesn't necessarily qualify you for any grants. It's more of the outdoor comprehensive plan that would qualify you for grants. So I don't think that's an issue that we have to worry about.
All right, I guess I jumped ahead on this.
No,
So
and that's why the topics are kind of
It's fine.
intertwined.
Yeah.
And my intent with the property is to be able to purchase it, but then with the project that the UW student would do, that they would give, like, let's say trees or shrub suggestions or like concepts or colors and stuff like that, that we also have access to that information to be able to tie it into our spot so that it all is cohesive with each other. Like we don't want to stand out like a sore front thumb. We don't, not that I would be bright hot pink in our section and then it's all neutral colors in the other area. So being able to understand what type of landscaping and what type of color theme and ideas that are there to be able to work together so that we're not also doubling up. Like say you decide to have like an outdoor ping pong table, like, well, then it doesn't make sense for us to have that it's aware that we can collaborate.
Right. And just even they'll even touch on like public utilities, like parking and you know, water sewer, things like that, and what we have there already and what is going to be needed for what the location would be used best for.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, hearing no further discussion, all those in favor of submitting the application, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, stepping back to number 6, the downtown business proposal. As Tim brought up, that is currently city property. And Kim has some big plans for it. So we are going to need to, do you have the motion, proposed motion?
So just as some ideas to move forward with all this, I kind of came up with some potential motions that you guys could consider. Looking back at how we did the Swiderski project, we did a developers agreement ahead of time. It kind of brought up the expectations and the timelines and the details of everything. And the developers agreement was signed and approved by council and the developer before, you know, any land purchases or anything like that. So looking back at how we did that, here's some options for you. Number one, if you like this project the way it is and you want to continue on that path, you could, potential motion would be to direct the city administrator to begin negotiations for the developers agreement with Kim. And we've changed whatever your firm, you know, what you want to call a business on it. The details of the land purchase, timelines, project expectations for the proposed beer garden on West Wolf River Avenue. Number two, if you think it's a good idea, but you just want to step back and take a month to think about it, you could table it till next month, make a decision then. 3, obviously, if this isn't on the same page with what you guys are thinking of, we can say, thanks, Kim, but we want to look at something else. That's an option. Or there might be something else that you might want to consider. So those are some options to kind of think about moving forward from this presentation.
I'm gonna assume that's in the TID district.
Yes, that is definitely in the TID district.
What was your question? Oh, so the application deadline for the university is August 8th, and then is there a timeline when we will hear back from them?
Ginger,
I
is
was
there a
just
timeline?
typing up the timeline for Chad because I knew that was gonna be needed. So the fall semester, September through December, that's your goal setting, program development, research and analysis. Spring semester goes through January through May. So that's where you get your framework, planning and site design. So that's kind of May is when we would get our final project presented to you. So
What about, was there timelines from when we would hear back if we were chosen one way or the other?
well, we would find out before September 1st, I would imagine, before school starts.
Okay.
It's a pretty quick turnaround, my guess.
I definitely think this is beneficial for the city. I think by having a developers agreement would be the wisest way to do it. So I think direct the city administrator to negotiate the developers agreement. Do I make a motion for that one, or
Yes, you do.
I'll make a motion to direct the city administrator to negotiate a developers agreement with Kim on details of land purchase timelines and projects expectations for a proposed beer garden on West Wolf River Avenue.
Second.
Any discussion? My only thought, this is
Okay,
my only
yeah.
thought that comes to mind is what if this university comes and they say a beer garden would be better in this location? What if we, go through a developers agreement and they have some really great points that we're not thinking about of another area that Kim should consider? My only
Well,
thought.
So with looking at, working, the motion is to work on a developer's agreement. So we haven't,
Not a specific area.
well, it would be for that area, but we would still have to approve that developer's agreement and council would have to approve it. So we've got those months yet before we're gonna be signing dotted lines and purchases.
No,
Like a
no, but it's
So-
good, but it's good to have
Yeah,
contingency plan,
Right, I'm
understand,
just
like,
thinking, like, what if they're like, hey, maybe you should consider this for traffic parking or,
Yeah,
hey, you know.
nope, very, so,
And that's
If-
part of the developer's agreement, because you're flushing out the details.
Right.
You're getting all the expectations down, the timelines and things like that, and maybe throughout that process, we figure out plan B. Whatever that is, potentially.
mhm.
In
Still gotta have the
in the
space to do
end,
it.
this property is useless property to the city, and if anything, we're getting it back on the tax roll. And it's gonna improve that area, so I mean,
The pros are, like I said before, you're looking at an overall placemaking opportunity, a public-private partnership type thing. You're getting it back on the tax roll. It's going into the TID district, which is a positive thing as well right now. A lot of good points.
Should this almost be two projects where we get a hold of UW and get them started and then do this other one separate?
That's why it's two motions.
It's two, yeah, it is two projects. We're just talking about them cohesively because they're adjoined, the properties are adjoined. That's why we're talking about it this way.
You want to get Wisconsin moving right away.
Yeah, that motion was made and seconded and Ginger's probably typing it at home.
She's submitting it, right?
I think so.
It is actually done. I'm just waiting. to send it.
How did we know? How did we know?
Sorry.
So with that being said, so that part's done. And we just have to determine if we're gonna go ahead with a developer's agreement with Kim. That motion has been made, it has been seconded. Is there any other discussion?
I do agree with Tim, that is, we've been talking about this for the last few months of something needs to be done down there, and I think this is great.
Yeah, no, we have.
Okay. Okay, with that being said, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Motion passes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ginger.
Okay, moving on to updates and reports. Business updates, April.
Have you plug in first, because I think when I switch it and then, because when Kim did it, I had a problem, so I'll have you plug in first. Pull the white off of the adapter white off of the cable. Nope.
The whole way?
Yep, right there. Plug it.
All right, just a couple business updates for the committee. Since the last time we met, we had a new business coming called Custom Canine Grooming by Holly. She took over, it used to be the former pop-up candy shop, and then there was like a Mexican candy store in there that was kind of open, kind of not open. She closed, kind of come and go. But now Holly is running her grooming business out of there. She's not accepting new clients. She was doing this out of her home. And it just became too much. So 311 South Pearl Street has been a business. I went and visited Northern Bell today. They closed down for a few days to do some business renovations. They did some painting. They put in some slat walls so that they could bring out some more product. It just sounds like her business in the last 3.5 years has really blossomed. She's doing really, really well. She started out in a trailer, like just driving around the communities, selling clothing. Decided to land in New London, and her boutique is doing really well. With those updates, she did some signage updates. She's got some more plans too. So super excited to see Northern Bell Boutique blossoming. She'll be having a ribbon cutting in October. If you want to check that out, the date is to be determined. Next, I just wanted to give the committee an update. I got the blessing from the realtor and the owner to share this, just so that we can make sure that everybody in the community knows that the Grand Cinema Theater is not closed, but the Grand Screen is closed until further notice, just due to some damage. It sounds like there's some damages to the trusses that go to the roof, and it's been a long-standing issue that it looks like it was trying to be fixed at one point. So there's insurance involved. They're trying to get an engineer in there right now. But just spread the word that the theater is still open, and we should be supporting them through this issue. They just did their grand opening and re-grand opening in May, and unfortunately had to close the Grand Screen side of things for safety reasons. The commercial listings, we have a few updates here. The first I want to note is the 300 to 320 Wolf River Plaza had a significant price reduction. They're down to 1.2. So that is the entire plaza area minus the family video portion. The second is the 307 West North Water Street. That is where Olive and Rose is. And I believe Quick Stitches is in that building as well. That building is for sale at $239,900. And then also we have, I think it was Karen's Tax Service, I believe, 307 Smith Street is also listed for sale. Any questions?
No questions? Okay, thank you, April. City Administrators Report, Chad.
All right, is it bring up the screen again? So I did submit, talking about placemaking again, I did submit to New London Utilities the promotion for our placemaking survey. The utility bills are going to be sent out in 2 separate batches. First batch is going to go out July 29th, and the second batch on August 14th. So due to those timing of those batches, especially that second one, I did set a deadline for the survey of September 13th. And then I plan on bringing the results back at the September committee meeting for that placemaking survey. I did print out a flyer, so if any of you have businesses or public bulletin boards at your business, definitely throw them up, promote that, get the information out. If you want any more of those flyers, I can definitely do that. Looks like the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation is releasing a new grant to assist small businesses. They're coining it behind that Main Street Bounce Back grant, but it's a little bit different. Sounds like they're going to be releasing money to the municipality that we can send out somehow to small businesses. So I don't have much information on it yet because it just came out. There's going to be a webinar coming out in August that we can get some more information, but we'll keep our eye on that to see if it's something that we can take advantage of. And then April Kapitsky came across some great information. I put it in the packet, opportunities from Fox Valley Technical College to assist new businesses and those looking to expand. So we thought it was a good idea to present that to the committee. So that's in your packet. Coming up in the next month, for the alderpersons, you get my weekly staff notes. For the ones that aren't on council, we have been given a proposal from a company called Avangrid. They are working on a solar project that's north of town. So several miles out of town, there's a solar farm project. Their proposal, they need to get their transmission lines to the ATC substation that's on the east side of our industrial park, up on the north side of town. They're proposing to purchase several lots and then pay us for an easement for their transmission lines. I'm just getting that information now. We're kind of digesting that process. I've sent it to the attorney just to have him review it too on his end. And then eventually that's probably going to be coming to Economic Development Committee to potentially sell property for this project, if you guys are in agreement with that, and then council from there. But just to let you know, that's going on the backside. We're getting information. They've given us a proposal, and we'll see where that goes. And then last but not least, I'd love to introduce Katie Hopkins, our new video and marketing producer. Several of the other persons have met her before, but those of you who are not on council, Katie's in the she's helping us promote and market the city in new ways. So we want to welcome Katie to our team. And that's all I got.
Fabulous. Thank you, Chad. Okay, we would like to review some potential agenda items for future meetings. We need to consider an upcoming schedule for advertising on the city's Highway 45 billboard. I kind of feel like that needs to be on next month's agenda. We need to, figure out when exactly we're going, or where we're at with that. We already have the dates booked. So, then we have transportation updates, childcare updates, housing updates. I think we'll need to double back on both item 6 and 7 as well.
I just want to recommend that we include the school district on, the advertising on that billboard, because they showed it.
Well, this one right here is for the city 45 billboard. I think Linda was gonna be talking
I'm
about the
thinking of-
digital one. So
Yeah,
we gotta talk about both
Gotcha.
projects coming up, but,
I was thinking, okay, yep, wrong billboard.
I was actually saying the wrong billboard.
fine.
So,
we
yeah,
gotta talk about both of them in the future.
yeah, we do. Okay. Are there any other agenda items anybody feels needs to be addressed in the next month or two? Okay, not hearing any other agenda items. Review our next month's meeting date. I believe the 27th would be the date at 5:15. Do we have any conflicts? I'm not seeing any. Everybody, it looks good for everybody?
And along those lines, coming up the next month or so, obviously, we're gonna be losing our 2 student representatives. Ginger and I are in the process of, we've got interested individuals from the school district for taking over for Wyatt and for Carson. But, I'm assuming that you're gonna be with us at the August meeting yet, or?
I'll be at college.
You'll be at college, so this might be, Wyatt and Carson's, obviously Wyatt's, but I don't know about Carson, probably his last meeting as well. So thank you. to both
Yes,
of you
thank you
for
very much,
helping
Wyatt.
us out and representing.
Thank you, all of you, for a great 2 years. It's been really great opportunity to learn and just kind of see a little bit more about what this career path might hold for me. I'm going to be studying public policy in no small part. Because all of you, I've seen how much you all genuinely just want your community to grow, succeed, and be better, and that's kind of inspired me to go on a career path similarly, and hoping to come back to the area eventually to continue to improve our community. So thank you all for a great 2 years.
Thank you.
We're gonna sit.
Okay. Having nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by April, seconded by Tim. All those in favor? Opposed?